yay, another broken white boy to fix. My favorite line in the whole movie. Hello everyone, Scrivener here. At long, long last, Black Panther finally was released. I went and saw it last night. It was the earliest ticket I could get, and I want to talk about it in one of my 5-minute reviews, but don't worry, there's not going to be any spoilers in this video, except for me just talking about some of the characters, but I won't let you know anything important. Oh my gosh. Oh. It was so good. I have literally never been so excited to see a Marvel movie before. And I saw an evening showing, right? So I didn't have time to go home and eat. And I'm not kidding when I say that, like, the minute I stepped out of the theater, I suddenly realized how hungry I was. And it was just because I was completely focused on the movie. And I mean, like I said, I've been excited about this movie since I first heard that it was happening. It met every single one of my expectations. It met my dreams, basically. It was an amazing movie. It's hard for me to say whether or not I had a favorite of these new characters because all of them were compelling. Let's talk about Shuri though. I don't know if it was mentioned in the movie. I didn't catch it if it was, but I am 100% certain that Shuri is like leagues smarter than Tony Stark. I think one of the things I'm most looking forward to with Avengers Infinity War is seeing Shuri and Tony interact. The jokes that can be written for that. And if that is not in Avengers Infinity War, I am going to be very disappointed. Or at the very least, I want to see Shuri and Peter Parker interact. Shuri was not only a really interesting character and was obviously very smart and very cool, but she also had this great sense of humor. She had most of the really funny lines, and they weren't just one-liners. Some of the jokes in this movie, I'm sure you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the Maximoff twins are the only like real sibling relationship we've seen in a Marvel movie. And Shuri and T'Challa have a great relationship. And their relationship reminds me of the way that I act with my brother. That was really nice to see, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, I connected to the film because of that a little more, just because that was something of myself that I saw in there that I've never seen in a Marvel movie before. And of course with that, representation. I'm not kidding. There's 2 white men. There's 2 white men in this movie. Based on the trailers, I really expected Martin Freeman's character to wear out his welcome. But I was actually surprised by how much he grew on me. And yes, as Marvel has been doing the last couple of movies, there are 2 post-credit scenes. There's one right after the very pretty credits, and then there's one right at the very end of the credits, and you're gonna want to stay for both. The Afrofuturism in this movie, I know that a lot of research and development went into the look of the 5 different tribes that make up Wakanda, and I liked it. It was really cool. There's obviously some stuff in this movie that we've never seen in a Marvel movie before, like the Afrofuturism, like Ryan Coogler really knows what he's doing. The score is nothing like Marvel has ever done before for one of their movies, and it was so good. The music was just a fantastic element. Literally my only complaint about Black Panther is that Janelle Monáe and Jidenna were not on the soundtrack. And that's really just because of a personal preference, but it's also because like Janelle Monáe is really into Afrofuturism and sci-fi, and it really seems like it would have been right up her alley. But I get it, she can't be in everything, even if I want her to be, but that doesn't mean the soundtrack isn't incredible. I recognize it's a personal thing for me. Oh man, it was so good! The action sequences were just incredible. This is the second Marvel movie to ever make me cry. The first one is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, just because how can you not cry at some part of that movie? I'll even tell you what made me cry. It was Michael B. Jordan's performance as Eric Killmonger. Eric Killmonger was a really compelling villain just because Michael B. Jordan is a very talented actor. And this is nothing against any of the other people in that movie, but I think that Michael B. Jordan's performance was the strongest. And I also just think it's more because like Eric Killmonger was a greater part to have to act, you know, rather than somebody like T'Challa or Okoye or Nakia or Shuri, which is fine. They all did a great job, but there was something about Michael B. Jordan's performance that just really stood out. He managed to wring both absolute hatred from me and fear, as well as empathy. Something that I also really loved about the movie was that there was a really nice balance to it. I think with the last couple of, you know, Avengers-verse movies, like with Captain America Civil War, and I mean even Iron Man 3 to an extent, and just Captain America Winter Soldier, and just so many of these Marvel movies are really dark and are very bleak. by the end of it, and it's very sad and you're used to things going wrong. It was really nice to see Black Panther and have this sort of balance of like, well, they lose this one, but then we get a win, and this thing happens, but then something good happens. It made me genuinely curious to see how things turned out in the movie, just because I knew that like, oh well, this thing happened and it surprised me because I didn't expect that. Sitting in that theater just reminded me of how desperate audiences are to see something different. And like Ryan Coogler, it's not that I didn't expect Ryan Coogler to go into certain places of American history like slavery and the prison pipeline system and the war on drugs, but I didn't really expect Marvel to let him get away with it. But they did. And it's Ryan Coogler, so it was good. There were moments in the theater where I felt uncomfortable. And I think that's good. I think that the film did its job in that instance. I'm not kidding when I say that every second that I waited for this movie and I've been excited and dreaming about this movie was worth it. It was worth the wait. It was such a good movie. Go see Black Panther. And also you guys should check out Andre's review of Black Panther. It also does not have any spoilers. And really, I'm super excited to see the kind of literature and film theory that we get as a result of this movie from people who are way more versed on these subjects like Afrofuturism and race theory than I am. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe to our channel, The Princess and the Scrivener, for more videos on Disney, intersectional feminism, pop culture critiques, and more. And if you hit the little bell icon, you'll be notified of future videos that we make. The Princess. We'll see you real soon.